What's going on, guys? I have a branded Voiceless Voice deck profile for y'all today. This, to be honest with you, I think is the strongest form of this deck. You do sacrifice playing some hand traps, but a lot of the hand traps that you want to see are still in here. So, and you can always side into, matchups that you need. So let's start off with the main deck first. We're going to be going with 2 of the Ritual Skull Guardian, 3 Low of the Voiceless Voice, 3 Saphira. So let me take a second to talk about these cards. This guy's very critical for the deck. However, he can be a brick on his own. Low is like your 1-card starter. This is your, you could call her maybe a 1.5 card starter. She does dump to the grave, but if anything, you might could call her a negative 1 starter because she actually gets you something in the graveyard that you can use. So it depends on how you want to look at. 1 of the Vanilla Saravis. I say he's vanilla. He has an effect. He can special summon, and then he can tag out into either this guy or this guy. So this guy's very important. You might as well consider it engine. It's targeting negation for the deck, and it's also a special summon negate, similar to like Solemn Strike. Then you have the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon. I feel like this card is very critical right now against Tenpai. You have this plus this against Tenpai. You can do a lot of things, and it gives you a lot of options. Now for our Voiceless spells, we're going to be playing 3 Barrier of the Voiceless Voice, and we're going to be playing 2 Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, and then 1 Blessing of the Voiceless Voice, and then 1 of the Traps. All of this is engine, if you ask me. All these cards are required just to make the deck function properly. This could be another one of these, and you would be probably okay, but with decks like Tenpai running around, you want to have that ability in the main deck. And I like to set it up anyway. It's just generally good unless you're playing it against a deck that doesn't have spells. And at that point, it kind of sucks. But somebody somewhere is going to play spells. The mirror match, it actually goes really good. So for our non-engine, we're going to be playing 3 Preparation of Rites. Let me move this. This is just a simple, simple card, ritual deck. You kind of need it. It can be a brick sometimes though, but you got to have it. We're going to be playing 3 Diviner, 1 Trice. This is kind of an engine in and of itself. The worst part about this is it does require a normal summon to get this engine going, but this is 1 card low, and this right here is also good for chain blocking and stuff. Now for another engine that we're playing, a little sub-engine, the branded engine, you're just playing 3 Branded Fusion, 1 Fallen of Albaz. All you need is 1. You're not leaning very heavy on the branded stuff, but it's nice to have it, and it helps break boards going second. Also, it can make for a better turn 1 board. So that's it for those. Now for our monsters that aren't part of it, we're going to have 3 Ash as a hand trap. Just a good hand trap. This deck has a pretty good fire matchup in general, so Ash is not that big of a deal. Princess is not that big of a deal for this deck because Princess targets, and this deck has a lot of targeting protection, so it's good. 3 Fenrir, just to give you a little bit of extra juice on the board, plus it can help you break through boards. There's decks that see this and they're just automatically like trembling. Then for just to round everything off, play 2 Pot of Prosperity and then 3 Infinite Impermanence, just because this doesn't turn on talents or tactics. It's just generally good. Prosperity at 2 is good in this deck. You could run a 3rd. It would just make your build 41 cards, so it might kind of contradict, but I think the benefit could still be there. 41 versus 40 is not that bad. But with a deck like this, it does have a little bit of consistency issues, and you typically need to see 2 cards to make things happen. You do have some 1-card combos in the deck, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of situations where you need multiple cards. One good thing about Fenrir is he can be used as the whole tribute for your ritual monsters, and that's why I subbed this out instead of Nibiru, because Nibiru is not that great of a hand trap on its own today, and in general just not that great of a hand trap right now in most matchups. When you think about the top meta decks, Tenpai, it's virtually useless. if they have the field spell up, and they're not going to summon 5 times in the main phase anyway. And then if they go to battle, you're just finished. So for our extra deck, we're going to get the branded stuff out of the way. We're going to go with 1 Mirror Jade, 1 Lubellion. So if you know that you have free range to play, you can just go Lubellion instead and just put back the Albaz. That way your branded fusion is not dead. And then you could send this off, get another branded fusion for follow-up. We're going to be playing 1 Superstar Slayer Typhon, just a generally good card. This deck has a roomy extra deck. 1 Chaos Angel. Keep in mind, these do conflict, but there's a lot of turn 1 boards where you can set this up plus your full combo. And at that point, he's unaffected. He's a big beater. Going second, he can also do a lot of things. We're going to be playing 1 Herald of the Arclight, just to send off of our... whatever, the diviner, yeah. And we can also make this as a negate. We can hard make it in weird hands, you know, low plus a hand trap's not the end of the world. SP Little Knight, just a good card. We're playing the Secure Garden Almirage play. So if you have blessings in hand and your low gets stopped, and it's a weird niche combo that you don't actually have to play it. It's just, it might come up. And it's one of them things that might come up. And then our Relinquished Anima. Just in general, a great utility card. If you do play Nibiru, this can be, you know, get rid of that giant token. Then we're going to have 1 Dynamondo. 1 Underworld Goddess. This card has never came up. But with decks like Raid Raptor, Pearly, Yugioh, things like that, that you just... have to remove stuff a certain way. This is good. The Dark Charmer. This honestly comes up more than Line of the Light Charmer, because I mean you have no shortage of dark monsters in this deck that you can get to. You know, you can make this Chaos Angel, this. It's just, there's times, and then the Relinquished Anima mainly. Oddeyes Meteor Burst. This is your target for Pendulum Graph Dragon. So it's your anti-Tempai card. And then IP Masquerena. It's really good. Also, this helps with Yugioh. This is a pretty good card against Yugioh, against any deck that just does stuff in the battle phase. And it kind of, like Fire Kings, actually not too bad to get this out against Fire Kings when you're offensive. But yeah, and then IP, just to kind of round it off. Like I said, there's a few spots like this one, that could really be anything. I mean, anything that you could think of. I just can't think of anything better. You can maybe go with the Sanctifier and the Jowgen Lock, but then it forces you to play another brick in the deck, something the deck really can't afford to play, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I got some really good deck profiles planned on the horizon. So just comment if you have any suggestions. I think the deck's great. I took it to a regional, a little slightly different build. I didn't go the branded route, but looking back, I wish I would have. I wish I would have went the branded route, because I think things would have been much different. Just because the deck's a little bit more explosive going second, and it doesn't always lose to one hand trap. So, and I don't necessarily mean that Voiceless does lose to one hand trap, but there's hands where it indeed does. You know, normal summon divider, imperm, and you're sitting there, your hand's like low, that's it, you know, low, and then maybe like 2 hand traps. You're in a very bad position. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.